Hello and welcome to another Bundesbag Vodcast. I'll start with a very brief apology. There was no Bundesbag activity this week on account of illness on my part. I don't know whether you can still hear the sexy timbre in my voice, which is a legacy from a particularly unpleasant virus that's been staying at my place for the last few days. Anyway, shall we move on? It is a shame that we missed last week. I missed last week because there was quite a lot of fantastic action. But I'm sure you've already seen it. I'm sure you already know the situation. Bayern will be crowned champions in Berlin on Saturday, assuming that they win. If they don't win, then Schalke would have to win themselves. They have to beat Mainz away, which is actually a very difficult thing to do, and they'd have to win by such an extraordinary amount of goal difference that they'd be able to overhaul Bayern's goal difference. Bayern's goal difference is plus 39, Schalke's is plus 22. So that's the scale of the task. So, barring utter freakery of match fixing proportions, Bayern will be crowned the champions of the Bundesliga tomorrow, and well deserved championship it is too, I have to say. Despite the fact that they've got two of the worst centre backs in Europe right now. I'm exaggerating slightly here, but you know what I'm saying. They have managed to produce a championship winning side, and it's fantastic. It's all good for them, and great testimony to their players and to their coach, Lou van Gaal. So we can kind of move away from there and congratulate them and look ahead to some still very important fixtures that are taking place at the weekend at the top and at the bottom of the table. The first one that I would like to bring your attention is to Bayer Leverkusen, who are travelling to Mönchengladbach. Mönchengladbach were mullered last week, mullered by Hanover. More on Hanover later. So they will be anxious to make amends before finishing. It's a local derby. Leverkusen's situation at the moment is that they're now fourth, so they're out of the Champions League place. They desperately need to win in order to be able to have a chance of getting that third spot. I do feel a bit sorry for Leverkusen in a way, but then in a way I don't because, they haven't won enough games and that's the end of it. So their target is to overhaul Werder Bremen on 60 points. Now, Werder are playing Hamburg. Now, that really couldn't be a more difficult game for Werder Bremen than the last game of the season. The Northern Derby, it's at home, but Hamburg are going to be absolutely desperate to poop that particular party and will be looking to win the game. They're also very keen to make amends after what has been an incredibly disappointing season for them. Mullering the opposite, the local rivals, and denying them a place in the Champions League would just about do the trick for them, wouldn't it? Having said that, I predict that even if Hamburg were to win, Leverkusen would probably contrive a way of losing at Gladbach anyway. So, whatever. This may leave the door open, fingers crossed, Dortmund fans, for Borussia Dortmund. Now, Borussia Dortmund have to go to Freiburg. Freiburg, as we know, are awful, but Freiburg are also safe. Safe as houses, not going down. That's safe. They're in the Bundesliga next year. They can relax, out with the flip-flops and the Hawaiian shirts. They're not concerned about what's going on up there. BVB are on 57 points. They will not be able to get into the Champions League from here, but they will be able to secure a Europa League spot, perhaps the fourth spot, and go into the Europa League next season if they win against Freiburg. The only other possible European contender is Stuttgart on 54, 55, 56, 57. Yeah, they could do conceivably if everybody above them, like if Dortmund lost, they could do, and they lost. And Stuttgart, the swing is 4 goals, so it's not looking likely. But for the record, Stuttgart are playing in Hoffenheim, and they're at Hoffenheim, so they are narrow outsiders for European competition. And I think, having said that, that sixth place is enough for a European spot this time because and Bremen and Bayern are playing in the German Cup, and all being well, both teams will be in the Champions League next year. Or either way, their European places will be deferred. So you'll probably find that there'll be a 6th Europa League spot. So Stuttgart, really, as long as they win, they should be okay, and those should be the 6 qualifiers for European competitions next season, which is a pretty decent lineup for the Bundesliga. To the bottom then. Forget Hertha, they're down, they're gone. In many respects, they've done extremely well to have got to the penultimate weekend of the season and not be down, given just how buried they were. That leaves the contenders for relegation 17th place Bochum on 28 points, 16th place Nuremberg on 28 points. Remember, 16th is the third from bottom spot, and that's a relegation playoff spot. Playoff with the second team in the Bundesliga, with the third team in the second division of the Bundesliga. And then in 15th, you've got Hanover on 30 points. As I said, Hanover beat Gladbach, was it 6-1 last week? Extraordinary, sudden turnaround in the fortunes of that club. Amazing. They play, drum roll, Bochum. So that's the massive one tomorrow. Hanover playing Bochum. It's a real 6-pointer, or Sechs-Punkter, as they say in Germany. They don't really say that. And the goal difference, well, it's tighter than that's chuff. Hanover are on -27, Nuremberg are on -27, Bochum are on -28. So it's going to be really, really tense and very, very exciting down there. Nuremberg are playing Cologne, again, a team in their flip-flops. Nuremberg have got to win. You're just going to have to throw everything up in the air, and it'll all come down as it comes down, and we'll see who's going to be relegated at the end of that of Friday. All the matches take place on, did I say Friday? All the matches take place on Saturday. They all take a kick-off at the same time, and if you're based in the United Kingdom, ESPN are covering the Bundesliga final day of the series, of the season. They say they're going to be showing Hertha versus Bayern, but personally I hope that they switch to a more interesting game, because, I don't know whether do we really want to watch a 90-minute coronation when there is so much other classic Bundesliga action going on. But also remember, there is the Bet365, the BWin website. The BWin website. If you log on there, you have to register, you have to put a deposit in. And if you do all of that, then you can watch the Bundesliga there. So nice free plug there for BWin. That's pretty much it. I hope you've been enjoying these vodcasts. If you have been enjoying them, why don't you leave a little comment underneath here to say that you've been enjoying them, because that's quite nice. If you haven't been enjoying them, then you don't have to leave a comment. It's fine. Don't worry. I don't take criticism terribly well, and I'm not well either. Probably be back next season with more vodcasts, maybe a little bit more polished, perhaps with a decent microphone and a camera and stuff like that. But in any event, if you come back on the Monday or the Tuesday, I promise I'll have a full written blog post of the Bundesbag, the final weekend of the Bundesbag. I hope you enjoy this weekend's Bundesliga action, and I hope you're very lucky. Cheers. Bye-bye.